and this one was brought from a German museum. They claimed it belonged to Vikings. Nonsense, of course. Vikings never had horns on their helmets.
Eh bah c'est dommage que Galathorn se soit barré. Ça lui aurait fait plaisir ça comme faux. Bon après en plus c'est marrant parce que techniquement c'est un anachronisme. Alors c'est Sherlock est pas là, enfin là le jeu il est pas là pour être réaliste, hein. Il est là pour dire les Vikings n'avaient pas de cornes, mais de casque à cornes. Mais techniquement c'est une idée reçue qui vient bien plus tard que par rapport au 19e siècle. Donc c'est même un peu anachronique comme erreur.
Mr. Sherlock Holmes, I presume.
Qu'est-ce que tu me veux encore?
Emilio Estevez, happy to make your acquaintance. I am here on behalf of Mycroft, your brother. He's on his way to Cordona. In the meantime, he requests your assistance with a sensitive matter. My orders are to provide you with the details.
J'écoute.
You have my attention, Mr. Estevez.
Mark Ridley, the son of General Arthur Ridley, is being blackmailed. Suffice to say, the compromising material is of a delicate nature. The matter is of no small importance to the Crown, especially given the status quo on Cordona.
What about the status quo?
The Ottoman population holds a certain animosity towards the colonial rule. It's been this way since we took over the island.
Tu
General
m'étonnes.
Ridley made concessions with their leaders, but I'm afraid we are still teetering on the edge of open hostility.
Qu'est-ce que vous attendez de ma pomme?
What does Mycroft want me to do? Retrieve the blackmail material?
No, sir, nothing of the sort. Mark Ridley is meeting the blackmailer atop the old city bridge tower. You shall observe from a distance, then establish the blackmailer's identity. Do not attempt to arrest him. We'll handle it from there.
Saving the best for yourself? Fine.
There is a cafe just over the bridge that provides a good vantage point. Please report to me when you are done. I'll be waiting for you here, and remember, discretion is of the essence.
Ouais, d'accord. Ah. Ah oui, d'accord, bonjour.
It's a bizarre object, and yet oddly familiar.
Qu'est-ce qu'il foutait avec ça dans ses affaires, genre? Non, mais c'était dans mon placard, ça traînait depuis des années.
Yes. A room full of curiosities and artifacts. I think I can find it in the manor.
Sherlock. So, you continue to pursue
Ah, ça y est, t'es arrivé, toi.
imaginary. I had hoped you might have got all this out of your system by now.
Mycroft, what are you doing here? Get out of my house.
It's my house, actually. I've come to bring you back.
I have no interest in returning, let alone with you. I know you lied about Mother all these years, claiming she was merely ill, but she was unstable. She never had tuberculosis. She was not recuperating, but mentally deteriorating, and you never once thought to tell me. How dare you?
I shall not indulge this petulant tantrum. You can just tire yourself out and then slink back to London with your tail between your legs.
Just tell me everything. I'm an adult now. Show me the basic courtesy of an explanation. You know I will find out eventually.
The goal was stability, and that's what you got. The
Pas
right
trop,
thing
non.
for everyone was to try and move on from her passing.
The consequences of one's actions determines what is right or wrong.
Yes, exactly. The ends justify the means. After leaving Cordona, Sherlock, you had a normal childhood. In London, I was able to support you, guide you, shape you into a fine and productive young man. You have so much potential, so much to offer society.
But that's not the end. Now I found the truth, and it has shattered everything I knew about her, about you, and about myself. I feel unstable because of you. Your actions were not justified. Lying never is.
Oh, grow up, Sherlock. It was a white lie which has as much use in the realm of the interpersonal as the international. It is time you come to accept that some things are bigger than yourself.
Oh, Oh, you are full of it. You like to pretend you care about the big picture, but it's just an ego trip. You like knowing more than others. You like greasing palms and rubbing shoulders with the rich and powerful. You like having eyes and ears everywhere. The fact it helps the nation is incidental, because all you care about is yourself.
It's true. I have agents everywhere, including Cordona. If you weren't so damn stubborn, you'd realize that means I'm only here for you.
Mhm. Bien. Oui, alors l'enfance ordinaire, je suis pas sûr, hein, parce que son ami imaginaire, on l'a. Beaucoup de monde a eu des amis imaginaires, mais enfin, une sorte de stade pareil. Voilà, et cet ami imaginaire, il vient directement de. Je vous laisse deviner. Souvenir fracturé. J'ai décelé la présence d'un autre fragment de souvenir. Je me souviens d'avoir examiné des os, grands et pâles, ainsi que des reflets d'une loupe. Et de la voix de ma mère. Je me trouvais dans une pièce pleine d'artefacts et de curiosités. Elle se situe au rez-de-chaussée à proximité d'un tableau fort mémorable qui ressemble à un truc avec des pyramides. Ça marche. Ouais, c'est ici.
I remember returning home with a pair of perfect sticks. We wanted to turn them into training swords.
Oh, that's right. We stood there, frozen, staring at something huge in the main hall. It was a giant aquarium with a living mermaid in it.
Impossible, it must have been something else. Oh, of course, that mortifying hoax presently taking up space in our front yard.
Well, fine. Your memory's better than mine. But I'm sure we started examining it immediately. And someone else was around too.
It was my mother. She asked what I thought of the artifact.
You were really concentrating and holding something in your hand.
I inspected it with a magnifying glass and was able to confirm it was made of two different skeletons.
Sans déconner.
The mermaid was a fake.
And so it was time to smash the thing. Your mother took a hammer and...
Slow down, John, that's not how it happened. I remember other people joined us. The workers took the artifact and placed it into the cabinet of curiosities. It became part of Mother's collection of fakes. She always said that the truth lies in the details. This mermaid helped me to learn that.
Bien. De plus en plus curieux. Ouvrir le cabinet de curiosité. Bien, bien, bien.
Ah yes, my mother's studio. She was an authenticator and this was her cabinet of curiosities.
I never saw the point. What does it matter if some artifact is real or not? It still exists.
One of the most ridiculous fakes I ever saw. Its owner insisted it was a polar bear. He thought the white paint on the brown fur wasn't noticeable.
Ah, à tous les coups, ils font croire que c'est le Graal. Bah, j'y crois pas, hein, mais je veux bien boire une petite coupette dedans quand même.
Another fake Holy Grail. Its owner claimed to be the heir of King Arthur. Scarcely believable. He also insisted a deadly rabbit was hunting him.
Watkinson and Holman, Chapter 1 by Wallace de Home, bien sûr, évidemment.
Watkinson and Holman, Chapter 1, by Wallace de Orham.
Oh, Mycroft. You always act so serious, but then reads tripe like this.
John, if I remember correctly, you couldn't put this book down. I remember this cozy blanket. It was perfect for...
Wigwam! Oh, that was a joy to build them. Imagining ourselves as wayfarers on the other side of the world.
D'accord.
Oh, I remember these. We used them to spar together until Mycroft found out and forbade us from using real weapons.
Cher Mr. Holmes, je souhaite vous faire part de ma plus sincère gratitude pour l'aide que vous avez apportée dans cette affaire privée. Je frémis à l'idée de ce qui aurait pu se passer sans votre œil aiguisé et votre esprit acéré. Soyez assuré de voir en moi un ami précieux si jamais nos routes venaient à se croiser à nouveau. Juge MacDougall.
Carefully opened.
Ouais, pas du tout comme moi, quoi.
Dated 24th of April, 1869.
Monsieur Mycroft Holmes, l'hôtel de ville de Cordona vous informe que le procès du docteur Otto Richter concernant la mort de Madame Violet Holmes a été attribué au juge MacDougall. Votre demande de procès en huis clos a été acceptée. Par la présente, nous vous informons que l'accusation vous a appelé comme témoin principal dans le cadre du procès du docteur Otto Richter. Veuillez vous présenter à la cour d'assises de Cordona aux dates listées à la suite de cette convocation. Bien.
So many calling cards. Mycroft liked to keep useful people at hand. Reliable and driven. I recognize Mycroft's handwriting. Officer Luciano J. Placido.
Bah c'est le même, on l'a rencontré lui.
This drawer was always closed. Only Mycroft knew how to open it.
I remember we tried to break it open and spy on him, but alas, had no success. Maybe today's the day. Oh, Sherry.
Quelqu'un rapporte. Oui, 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 oui.
« 1852, Bingley, West Yorkshire.
C'est pas la même gamine qu'on a vue tout à l'heure là?
This photo caused a lot of fuss. My mother spent some time to prove it was a fake.
Look, it's Roger. This jolly old man's well preserved. Even looks refreshed.
I doubt he drew much interest at the auction.
That's for the best. I'd be upset if he fell into the wrong hands.
Ça a été volé ou?
An archaeological find should be here. It's far better than beneath the old city walls. The so-called mummy of a Persian princess. The defrauders did good work, but missed one small detail. It's the mummy of a man. And this one was brought from a German museum. They claimed it belonged to Vikings. Nonsense, of course. Vikings never had horns on their helmets.
Eh bah c'est dommage que Galeton se soit barré. Ça lui aurait fait plaisir ça comme faux. Bon après en plus c'est marrant parce que techniquement c'est un anachronisme. Alors c'est Sherlock est pas là, enfin là le jeu il est pas là pour être réaliste, hein. Il est là pour dire les Vikings n'avaient pas de cornes, mais de casque à cornes. Mais techniquement c'est une idée reçue qui vient bien plus tard que par rapport au 19e siècle. Donc c'est même un peu anachronique comme erreur. Un diplôme déchiré trouvé dans le cabinet de curiosité. Quelqu'un l'a délibérément déchiré en 1000 morceaux. Une fois les morceaux rassemblés et traduits, le diplôme est comme suit. Au nom du Sénat de l'Université de Genève, en Suisse, nous, recteurs de l'université, constatant que M. Otto Richter a bien subi les épreuves exigées par la loi et les règlements, lui conférons le grade de docteur en médecine avec les droits et prérogatives qui y sont attachés.
Clearly, it was deliberately torn. I wonder why someone would do that. The Tulpa, Studies in Tibetan Mentalism. An impressive number of bookmarks. Someone was rather obsessed with this subject.
Note personnelle d'Otto Richter. Madame Holmes représente une patiente à l'intérêt indéniable. ainsi qu'un sujet de test idéal pour mettre en application certaines de mes théories. Je vais essayer de la plonger de manière répétée dans la situation traumatique qui est à l'origine de sa maladie mentale. Mais quelle bonne idée! J'ai la ferme conviction que revivre cet épisode conférera à son esprit une chance d'accepter ce qui est arrivé et ainsi de trouver la voie vers la guérison. Spoilers, il a été prouvé que non. J'ai confiance en mon hypothèse et dois juste en fournir la preuve concrète. De plus, cela m'offre l'occasion rare de fréquenter la famille Holmes, ce qui me permettra peut-être d'étudier de plus près le caractère héréditaire des traits psychologiques, que ce soit au niveau des facultés ou des troubles. Il m'est déjà apparu que tous les membres de cette famille partagent une intelligence hors norme. Il semble que la maladie de la mère ait commencé à influer sur le mental de son fils cadet, Sherlock. Bien que je ne puisse mener un examen médical approfondi en raison du tempérament protecteur du fils aîné, il me paraît clair que ce jeune garçon souffre d'hallucinations sous la forme d'un ami imaginaire, John. Mon cher frère, j'ai eu vent de ton arrivée récente en Cordona. Es-tu venu me rendre visite? Nos soirées passées à converser me manquent, même si nous n'étions jamais d'accord. Ce serait vraiment une lettre que pourrait m'envoyer mon frère. On s'est dit 1000 fois les mêmes choses, mec. Je t'adore, mais là on n'a plus rien à se dire en fait. Cordona accueille une superbe nouvelle galerie que je fréquente sur tous les jeudis. Retrouvons-nous sur place. Oh, et ne demande pas après Klaus. J'ai laissé ce nom derrière moi. D'accord.
The full plate armor of Sir Robert Swanford. I was told my father won it in a wager.
Armor is armor, but look at his sword. Oh, how badly I wanted to wield the blade. Maybe you take it instead.
Mother
of
said
your
this was
pistol.
among the hunt. I'm starting to remember something.
So he tried to persuade everyone that his forest was inhabited by these beasts. It would have been thrilling.
Tu vas vraiment parler pendant 15 ans là? Merci.
Mother said this was among the hunting trophies of a Scottish Viscount.
Tôt le matin, bruit de pas.
Ah, the memory comes back. We snuck about watching him.
He closed the drawer and went to the hall. We were like two shadows crawling behind him.
He opened the door to the postman, and they exchanged documents. If it was a real postman, of course. Then he threw some logs into the fire and sat in his armchair to read.
It's as boring now as it was then. I'm sorry, Sherry, but I think that's it.
Wait, John, we never use the fireplace in the mornings. What if... I think this is what we're looking for. A bit of juniper in the fireplace created a soothing atmosphere. It's the little things, isn't it?
We made it. So what's there?
Une bouteille d'alcool, super intéressant. Royal Lochnagar.
Single malt whiskey, Mycroft's favorite. Single malt whiskey, Mycroft's favorite. Gifted by Queen Victoria herself.
Ok, j'avoue, c'est stylé. Demi-bouteille de whisky single malt de qualité, la boisson préférée de Mycroft. Ok, j'avoue, c'est stylé.
Otto Richter. Otto Richter. This one is rather thick. Mycroft can be truly dogged in his research.
Otto Richter est âgé de 45 ans et vient d'une famille respectée de Berne en Suisse. Il est célibataire et n'a pas d'héritier connu. Docteur en médecine diplômé de l'université de Genève en Suisse. La remise de son diplôme a été repoussée d'1 an en raison d'un scandale mineur lors d'une affectation. Ses parents sont morts du choléra en 63, il ne lui reste qu'un seul proche en la personne de Klaus, son demi-frère de 35 ans. Le lieu de la résidence de ce dernier est inconnu, il a été vu pour la dernière fois en Cordona.
Dossiers on the most influential people on Cordona. Mycroft always had a habit of building files on everyone he met.
D'accord, d'accord. Vous avez vu emporter du thé, affliction mentale, Mycroft a témoigné contre Richter, expérience de Richter. Mycroft n'apprécie pas les méthodes du docteur Otto Richter et ne lui faisait pas confiance. Et alors qu'il avait tous les moyens pour le faire changer de médecin, il l'a pas fait. Donc bon.
I used this ladder to look at the top shelf, right? On the day of Mother's breakdown upstairs.
Right you are, Sherry.
We heard a noise. I can't recall of exactly what. And we didn't have a great view from behind the statue. Books and papers from the table somehow ended up on the floor. Now it's coming to the surface. I feel it.
Voilà.
Come on, Sherry. Let's go outside. Wait. Did you hear that? Come here, Sherry.
You call this progress? Charlatan, amateur. I'm not letting you anywhere near my mother again.
Ah, bon, quand même, il a réagi.
There was a quarrel between them.
Tout ça s'est produit peu après l'incident dans la chambre de Violette le 9 avril. Cher avait décidé de jouer avec des artefacts dans le cabinet de curiosité. Et je l'y ai bien sûr accompagné. Nous avons par conséquent été les témoins involontaires d'une altercation entre Mycroft et Otto. Le frère, le Sherlock, était en colère. Il était convaincu que le docteur Richter avait fait quelques expériences douteuses sur leur mère, et que cela ne s'était pas passé comme prévu. Il a traité Otto de charlatan.
I heard a noise in the hall. Let's check it out. Sherry, look! We've got a parcel here. Hurry up and let's see what's inside.
Ok, ça c'est chelou. Encore? Cher Mr. Holmes, je vous attends au manoir de Kurt Monchios, lequel se trouve sur Turquoise Lane, en face de l'abbaye de Cordona, dans le nord du Grand Surrey. Venez de ce pas, si la chose vous incommode, venez quand même. Votre ami à jamais, VV. Mais je vous ai fait parvenir un costume convenant à l'occasion, afin de vous épargner les complications inutiles. J'espère qu'il vous dira.
An invitation that comes with a mask.
Bon, je pense que ça va être la
Oh,
dernière.
it's Sherry.
Je pense qu'on s'approche de la fin. Enfin, après, il y a tellement de quêtes secondaires qu'en réalité, il reste beaucoup de choses.
Enjoy the evening, sir. There is still plenty of time before the grand finale.
All right.
Ouais, c'est une bien étrange soirée à laquelle tu m'invites, monsieur Vogel. Mais... Il m'a invité à une... Ok.
Sherlock, friend. I wasn't sure you'd come.
Oui, alors, nous sommes juste amis, monsieur Vogel.
Werner, I see you are not yourself.
The more time you spend here in Cordona, the more I feel it my duty to bring you into our world.
Oula,
Show
oui.
you all we have to offer.
And what is on offer today?
Pleasure, indulgence, relief, and relaxation. You've earned some time for yourself, have you not?
Those who know me would say I'm incapable of it.
Nonsense. I refuse to believe there is anyone permitted to know Sherlock Holmes.
You may be right.
Then free yourself from inhibition and expectation. The night is young, and so are the guests. You should try to enjoy both. It's not healthy for handsome men to spend every night alone, and certainly not in a house filled with such melancholic memories.
I must admit, my travels have proven more taxing than expected. I'm less confident in my life and myself. Time of relaxation seems a distant dream.
So can I tempt you with physical aid to your moral consolations? There's wine, of course. Something to smoke. Or perhaps an artificial paradise? Yes, something more spiritual. A potentiator to sharpen the mind. A 7% solution of, well, that'd be telling, but you must try it.
My mind already operates at a far higher level than most.
Non mais genre Sherlock il se drogue pas.
My ultimate duty is to provide the world with truth, and I do that perfectly well as is.
Duty?
Bon, admettons qu'on soit au moment de sa vie où il n'a pas encore touché un seul
Exposing a lie,
truc.
revealing a fact, that is a moral responsibility.
That's not morality. Morals are what happens afterwards when truth collides with consequence. Do you ever follow up on cases you solved? Do you ever see what happened next? Visit the victims? Ensure justice is served in the courts? And how do you choose where to direct your attention? Are there not deserving causes to which your brilliance could be applied but isn't?
You ascribe me more power than I possess. I have a narrow skill set and work within that mandate. What occurs afterward is irrelevant.
With every action or inaction, you place a finger on the scales of morality. Many in the city would see you as abdicating a responsibility.
I haven't.
Not me, of course. Morality is subjective, just like truth. There is little to be gained from indulging in it, and far better things to indulge in. Now I must insist on easing any burdens I've placed upon your shoulders. Show yourself a kindness, and try this rather delectable concoction.
Je préférerais l'étudier. Je suis un peu geek, j'avoue.
If this solution truly does assist with thinking, then perhaps it would be puerile to overlook an opportunity to.
Ah oui, étudier dans ce sens-là. Bon bah de toute façon j'aurais fait ce choix. Hein.
Yes, Sherlock. Very good. And now, our
Je veux dire,
begins in
je
earnest.
joue un Sherlock qui doit être Sherlock. Donc, s'il prend pas de drogue, c'est pas
I'm
lui.
sorry, Sherlock. My mind's delightfully impaired. Please take this key. It opens the altar room, past the library.
Pardon? Altar room. What now, Werner?
Go quickly and find our Fabio. Only you can make him talk. I'll join you in a minute.
Oh là là. Ah non mais là c'est plus juste une soirée hédoniste.
Oh God. Was he here this whole time?
This crude tattoo partially covers a slave branding. This golden handle has a bloodstain on it. The dagger is heavy and sharp, but lacks balance. A blunt-force trauma may have suffered an internal hemorrhage. The wound is deep. A precise strike reached the heart.
Non mais waouh, c'est quoi ce
This
truc?
worm-like sigil has been drawn.
Eh, je l'avais dit, on s'enfourrait dans un bourbier là.
The victim has clenched the fabric so firmly in his fist that it's nigh impossible to remove it.
Ah oui, donc il était couché quand c'est arrivé en fait, hein, et qu'il a souffert, donc c'était quasi volontaire.
The herbs here are Salvia divinorum. They have a slight hallucinogenic effect to emphasize the ceremony. This elaborate box must be for the ritual dagger. This oil has a slight aroma of flowers and olive. The ointment smells mouse-like. I presume it is an aphrodisiac prepared from a Spanish fly.
Si tu le dis.
This one looks like a twisted symbol of Venus, drawn in a hurry.
These crime scenes always outdo my imagination.
C'est pas faux.
The sign reminds me of the astrological symbol for Mars. Enough cigars to burn down the entire mansion. An open wound spoiled the carpet. Blood. A sturdy bottle met a not-so-sturdy human. It didn't break only because it was unopened.
Ça peut être ça qui a frappé le monsieur, hein. Ouh là
Why
là.
don't people tidy up after themselves? This is a different ritual.
J'ai mis la main sur un guide pour une sorte de rituel avec une inscription écrite au début. On y lit « Lisez et entraînez-vous à accomplir ce rituel, Manchios ». La femme nue se tient étendue sur un lit de fleurs recouvrant l'autel, symbolisant Mère Gaïa. La personne en charge du rituel applique les huiles nécessaires sur le col de la femme dans le but d'éveiller sa fertilité intérieure. Les participants devraient à ce stade entamer leur chant et appeler l'homme qui est capable de satisfaire Mère Gaïa. Enfin, cet homme incarnant le principe de la vie s'adonne au plaisir de la chair avec elle. Ok. N'ignorez pas les invités, Matista, et cessez donc de les ennuyer. Ils n'ont que faire de vos inepties. Ils sont là pour se délecter de leur propre beauté, de la générosité à laquelle ils peuvent s'attendre de votre part. Vous êtes ici pour les satisfaire et pour célébrer le miracle de la vie. N'oubliez pas, chaque invité est payé une petite fortune pour profiter de votre compagnie.
How can anyone accept such behaviour?
A useful tool for a disguise arsenal. Handcrafted and luxurious cufflinks. There's also a note. For my Fabio, Manchos.
Would you recognise me in one of these? I suppose not.
Ouais, c'est bon.
The key is similar to the one that Vogel gave me. The capital F on the key fob might refer to Fabio. Identical to the robes the guests are wearing. The pitcher is empty, but with puddles around it. Blood clots are adhered to the sides of the drain. Props, decorations, and tools for a more detailed set. Similar to the guests' robes, apart from the bloodstains. Werner, care to explain what is going on here?
On nights like these, it's not unusual for some attendees to get a little exuberant. It's part of the appeal. Unfortunately, it appears things have gotten out of hand. Yes, some are more prone to bend the rules of morality.
That's murder. I doubt there's anything left to bend. Why did you not tell me immediately? We were chatting about trivial matters for some time.
If I'm completely honest, Sherlock, I've consumed a rather potent cocktail of substances. My attention slips and drifts. But I'm glad I thought to call for you.
You sent me a disguise.
Oh dear, did I? Well, since I found the body, Mr. Manchios has agreed that you can investigate the matter. I promise my mind will behave itself going forward.
All right.
Waouh.
Pull yourself together, Werner.
Reprends-toi. Donc vous n'avez pas prévenu la police, juste moi.
The police remain unaware of this tragic event?
Some of them may be hiding behind their masks. They conceal many things. But we didn't want the authorities to create more problems. Besides, after a few cocktails, their incompetence will have soared to new heights.
How do you know I even want the case?
I promised you relaxation. If there's one thing I know about you, Sherlock, it's that nothing soothes you more than a good mystery.
How did you discover the body? In between guzzles of alcohol?
I was set to perform in a fecundity rite with Fabio and came to inquire further. It was a staged ritual where he was to play the principle of life.
And the rehearsal was unsuccessful?
Who knows? I found him alone on the altar, his blood dripping to the floor.
And then?
Then I called Mr. Manchios. He was panicking, so I told him about you. We left the room and locked the door. Then we were
filling time?
Waiting for you was stressful. We indulged in some simple comforts. Overindulged, perhaps.
Mr. Manchios is the owner of the manor, yes?
And the host of Cordona's most memorable parties. He promises even the ugliest guest a partner for the night. And for the ones with more unconventional tastes, Mr. Manchios provides other services.
What a caring person.
You cannot begin to imagine.
Were you well acquainted with Fabio, the victim?
Everyone knew Fabio, or wanted to. His beauty was the talk of the island. Too handsome to go unnoticed. He was magnetic. Fat wallets fought for the privilege of having him. He offered the pleasures of performance and more.
Ok.
What about the fertility ritual? There was something about Fabio being a principle
Vélo
of
derrière.
love.
Fabio is supposed to portray the beauty of life's origin. Flowers, oil. Not this travesty that seems straight out the Inquisition.
So this ritual is not the fertility rite. What was it meant to look like?
It begins with a woman lying naked in a flower bed on the altar. She represents Gaia, the earth. As I cover her in oils, we chant for the principle. As our calls reach a climax, Fabio enters and copulates with her. After he finishes, I stab her with a dagger. That part's just pretend, of course.
But the intercourse is not?
I did not expect you to be such a prude. Are you a virgin? It is nothing to be ashamed of, but it would explain the color of your cheeks.
Mais comment tu fais pour voir la rougeur de mes joues? J'ai un masque.
Start of our festivities. The principle of life is beautiful, intimate, essential. It must not be stopped.
Yet it appears that someone did stop it. What about the naked woman? Can you tell me anything about her?
Oh yes, Matista. She's one of Fabio's compatriots and a performer too. I haven't seen her today, actually.
When you discovered the body, was the door open?
No, it was locked. Oh, that reminds me. It's a minor detail, but the first time I came to speak to Fabio, I left without entering, having been unable to open the door.
You didn't have the key?
No, I had it. Don't look at me like that. I was mostly sober. I suspect there was a key in the other side of the door, blocking the lock.
That detail may very well be major, Werner. Well done. So you returned later only to find the lock was not blocked?
Correct. After an hour had passed, I tried again and was able to unlock the door. That's when I discovered poor, handsome Fabio.
Ok. Bien, 2h59, c'est parfait. C'est pile poil le moment de nous quitter là. Merci à tous d'avoir suivi. On se quitte donc sur un cliffhanger. Mais quel mystère! Le mystère mystérieux. Dans quel bourbier me suis-je encore fourré? Aidez-moi. Ça sera la semaine prochaine, dimanche prochain. Salut à tous. Merci.